Hello everybody! Welcome to our live stream today. Today we have a really fun live stream for you guys. We're going to be translating something that we worked on live 2 weeks ago in Figma, right? A design for our new gamified habit tracker inside the Make More Fun app. And we're turning that into code today through the help of a really cool free tool called Locofy. And also, we're going to be customizing it to make sure it works the way we want it to work inside NextJs, which is our programming platform that we're using, or framework rather. So thank you so much for joining us. Today we're going to get straight into it. Thank you for coming. So, as we always start with our live streams, we like to go with the why, what's, and how. It's very important for us to figure out exactly why we're doing this, what we want to achieve, and how how we're going to get there. And so basically what we want to start off with is that we want to turn our hard work into actual code for our gamified habit tracker. Just for your memory refresh, this is what we built last time. We built this based on the old design of this daily quest, and now we have something like this so that we are able to also hand in different habits from the previous days as well, instead of just for the day that we're working on. So what we want to do from here is we want to use Locofy, which is a free tool that is a plugin on top of Figma, turn that into actual code for the initial base design and then build on top of it. So I want to show you exactly how we're going to get the initial code and then how do we build logic on top of everything. So at the end of the stream, ideally we'll have the skeleton of everything, right? We'll have the design into code. So that's like design in code. And then we'll pull the correct habits into the front end because we already have a framework for the dailies. If you go into here, you'll see that we already have everything. So we just need to show this in the new format for sure. And then we're going to have them functional for handing in today's quests. And hopefully we can hand in the previous days as well. We're going to see how that one works. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open our Figma project and we're going to try to connect our Locofy plugin to our Figma file. So right here, we can do something like this. We can go ahead and select everything here. Oh, first we might want to go ahead and group everything so things look like they're kind of grouped. Okay, ish. Let's see. This definitely needs to be grouped. So let's group it like this. Control G. We're going to group everything here. Control G. This is already grouped. That's fine. And I believe all this needs to be grouped as well into one component. So that's fantastic. Perfect. And let's see now. So we're going to go ahead and try to get this whole thing grouped. So group just like that. Control G. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to click this. We're going to open first our plugin. So ask us to connect an account. Connect. Usually I sign up with GitHub. You can do whatever you want here, but I'm going to sign up with GitHub, or sign in with GitHub rather. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my password. So give me one quick second. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and grab that on here. Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and paste my password. There we go. And it should be logging in. Let's see if everything works as expected. I believe it's already connected here. Perfect. Okay, so it should have redirected me back. Interesting. Okay, cool. So what we have here is that we can actually select our projects. We're going to make a new project here. We have a new project under Next.js. We're going to call this one our Make Work Fun. Let's go ahead, create that. And then let's auto tag by Locofy. Let's see what happens. So this is the frame. Not just group. We want to make this a frame. So let's go ahead and let's see, we can turn this into frame selection. There we go. Auto tag. Let's see what's going on. These are inputs. I guess it's fine. We don't actually need to tag those. I think right now I'm more interested just getting it into code. So let's just go and preview. Continue to preview. Let's see what happens. So nothing is responsive yet. That's expected. So what we want to do first is see how we can get it to be responsive. So if I go ahead and just tweak this a little bit, let's see what's going on. Hello to everyone who's watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Let me know if you have any questions about what we're doing here. So looks like this doesn't do anything smart. So let's go ahead and make some auto layout. So if I go ahead and okay, I do know that if I take this Yeah, that would change it from there to there. That makes sense. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that there's also some responsiveness when I go and start hiding this. And I believe the show hide property is inside one of these things. Let's see. It's fixed, it's fixed, fixed. Hmm. Actually, I think it's fine for now. I just want to see it in code because I have the feeling that I'll probably be customizing quite a few things anyways. So let's go ahead and just change it to code now. Let's just view the code. I want to do the selected frame in NextJS. Perfect. Review before tagging. I don't think we need to worry about that, as I mentioned before. Yeah, I don't need to worry about that yet. So I'm going to view the code in Builder, ignore recommendation, continue to sync. Let's go ahead. So let's view the code in Builder, right? So let's see what's going on here. Now we have everything here. Get started. Wonderful. And now what we have is this code. So let's see how this code looks like. So what they did essentially is first let's change the CSS styling. So let's see. This will just be index.module.css. That's fine as well. What's the difference here? Oh, interesting. Okay, I think I would just go with CSS. Interesting. So everything looks like that. And I believe if I just copy and paste this in, everything will work. So let's just try and see how that happens for us, shall we? Yeah, it's just importing this thing as well. Constant. Okay, I will change the wordings of these layers because I do know that layer wording is important here. So let's go ahead and change the layer wording here. So first of all, I'm going to say that I'm going to move this out of that iMac frame because that was just for the background that I was initially worrying about. But now I know we already have a background, so we just need to draw this on top. So all I need to do is just remove this frame, bring it back. And then let's go ahead and delete this for a second because, oops, I don't want to get confused with that. So let's go ahead and delete this layer if I can. Edits. Let's see. Settings. I'm not sure how I'll delete this. Okay, no problem. Let me just go use this and then let's use Locofy again. Click on this, view code in Builder, ignore recommendation, and I still didn't rename everything. Whoops. Yeah, so frame 1775. Perfect. So this is what I was looking for. And then what we can do here, we can see like each component has its own thing, which is good. Morning routines here. I need to rename everything. I would really like to do that. But for now, I think because I'm just going to take each piece one by one, I don't think I need to rename it too much. So let's see what happens. Let's say if I want to get this whole section, where does that come from? Yeah. Okay, I'm still able to extend this. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and just get this frame. Okay, sorry. I think what I'm gonna do, I am gonna rename these things because I don't want to be confused later on. So I'm gonna rename these. The frame is gonna be called let's call this daily quests. Daily quests. And then what we have here is going to be called habit row. That's better than what was called before. This is a frame, so let's call this habit group. And then this is called our routine name. And this whole thing is just called our, yeah, I think this is fine. Let's see how that one looks. Okay, let's see if that changes anything for us. The same thing here, this needs to be, I think what we can do is we can actually delete one of these for the sake of generating the design because we just need one of them. Same thing for here, we just need one of these, so I'm just going to delete and we're going to delete here. And then now I can shrink this down because it doesn't matter as much anymore. Oops. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to rename all these just so that it's a bit more consistent. So now this is 25th, which is going to be a Friday. Actually 24th for you guys. So Friday right here. And this is going to be 23, which is going to be Thursday. It's going to be 22, which is going to be a Wednesday. 21, which is going to be a Tuesday. 20, which is going to be a Monday. And then we have 19 here, which is going to be our Sunday. And then our Saturday is going to be our, right here, 18, and this is Saturday. So what we want to try to do now is try to get this to print out properly. So let's go ahead and open Locofy again. I believe this is already there. So, but we just need to publish it one more time. Let's go. Yeah, so daily quest is doing that now. There's a whole group there, that's fine. And then I'm gonna ignore the top because the top I can customize, and I just really want this bottom section. So this group right here is what I really want. And yeah, this looks like it could work. So let's have a group and everything like that. Perfect. Let's just try it out. I do see that all of these, yeah, I'm not too happy with this yet because so daily quest became its own thing. Let's see what happened here. So daily quest here, daily quest here. Not sure what's the difference here. But let's again copy this. So let's say I'm going to copy this. Oops. Okay, they want me to fill out this form for a second. Obviously, I have done this already. We had a whole call with them. But for the sake of this demonstration, let's go ahead and just do a web conferencing call. So let's say this time, sure. And then we can say make work.fun. Looking to learn more about how we can use this tool for our existing projects. Perfect, and I believe that's done. Once I do that, I can come back and it's extended. Wonderful. That's actually pretty easy. Let's go ahead and do the export code. Let's see what happens here. I need to delete this Mac 1 screen, so let's go ahead and try that. So let's go ahead and delete the Mac 1 screen. I wonder if I can easily delete this. Let's go here. Nope, that's not what I see. Maybe here, project settings, code generation. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine too. Let's play around more of this. Let's see. What we have is our, because I don't want to export this at all. This is something that was just trial. But how would I delete this? Should it be obvious here? Yeah, so the iMac one is the index one. Yeah, I didn't want to get rid of that. Okay, let's see, let's see. Edit is here. Components is here. Settings is here. Where is that button that I'm looking for? Yeah, that's not the delete button. Okay, well for now, I'm not sure. So for now, we'll just keep it there. But ideally, we can find out how we can get rid of that later on. And then we're going to go ahead and just only export this thing. And then we're going to go ahead. Ideally, we can componentize this as well. So actually, let's componentize this. So I'm going to go into here and we're going to componentize this. So I believe we can just turn this into a component, make component. I'm going to call this component into a habit row. Habit row. There we go. Create. And now we have a new habit row. Let's see how this looks like. Okay. Um, All right, this should kind of work. Let's see how it looks like in our actual code. I'm excited because I've never tried this before myself, so definitely am curious to see how this looks like. So we're gonna go export the code. We have, again, I don't need that map one, that was just a test. We'd like to export the components as well, so screens and components. And then we're gonna go ahead and just download the zip file. I think that will start us off. So we have the zip file now, okay? And then so it looks like this. We're gonna open up our Visual Studio Code, which is the way that we're going to code everything out. And then we have our dailies here. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our dailies page. And right now we already have a lot of complicated logic here because we've already built out a lot of this. So what we want to do now is just to see if we throw it in the bottom, what happens. I'm super curious. Again, I'm just trying to learn here and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and do the development. And we're going to go ahead and open up our zip file. It's inside our pages, I believe. Nope, it's inside public. Oh, that's just the images. Okay, so styles is inside here. And we need to rename everything for sure. But styles is inside here. So styles for us in this existing project. Let's see, components, context. We don't have an actual styles folder actually. The way that we usually did it was we put it inside of assets. But what I think we could do if we have a page for dailies, yeah, we can just reference this. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy this into our assets here. Oh, okay. What we have to do is we have to take it out first. So let's go ahead and put it into our file explorer. Or actually, what we can do is just extract the whole thing. So let's just extract the whole thing first. So we go into our downloads. We're going to go ahead into extract files to make more fun. And now that I have that, I'm going to drag that over so you guys can see it as well. So you can see that we have this. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the styles. We're going to take both of them out and put them into assets for a second. So it's not index module, but we're going to call it as our dailies module.css. Call that. And then this is our habits. So this is our habit row.css. Okay, so that's that. And then now what we want to do is we want to take the rest of the code. So like I mentioned before, not only is a style, but I'm actually going to drag the pages. So we have this index.typescript. So we're going to go ahead and just throw it in here first, and then we're going to see what we can take out and make work. So pages, we already have an index here, obviously. Ah, interesting. I'm actually using JavaScript, so I need to change this a little bit. So let's go ahead and make sure that's the case. So we want to go ahead and go back to our design here. Okay. And I want to change this from TypeScript to JavaScript. So export the code again. And then we're going to export this, download zip file. Let's do that one more time because we have to. So we're going to go ahead and extract. Perfect. Now we have this again. And then this time we have our pages. And now it's in JavaScript here. Interesting, but this is still in TypeScript. That's really interesting. Okay, let's actually uncomponentize it. Let's see what happens. Detach components. And this time what I'm going to do, just to keep it simple, I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these different things. So let's go ahead and delete this. Delete habit row as well. And we're going to try it again. So let's go ahead and export this one more time. Let's go ahead and export this like this. Export. Oh, no, this time it's two screens. That's wrong. I don't want that screen. Actually, we can do it like this, and then we only take this. So that becomes even cleaner because we don't need a generation for an index file because we're just adding this to our existing page for sure. So I believe what we have now is our index.js. So, okay, wait, let me also extract everything again. So we extract everything. We're going to go into our downloads. And then now inside our downloads, we can go in and grab that. So make work fun, folder 2. Oh shoot, actually it came out all into here. Okay, so let's just go again and extract. Okay, perfect. So we have it here again. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and grab the styles. So index.module, that makes it more clean. Let's go ahead and just drag that into here. So not index.module, but we're going to call this dailies.module. Okay, perfect. And then now what we have is an opportunity to go ahead and grab the pages. Oops, that's the old one still. Let's go to pages here, and then we can grab the index. So this index is false because we need to rename this. Let's call this one our dailies 2 maybe. And then our dailies 2 here. Let me also just change something so I don't get distracted. So our dailies 2, we're just gonna paste that in here. And I'm just really curious how it will work from day one. So let's just try that out. Yeah, so that's really interesting. Okay, so they're looking for this icon stuff as well. So for now, I think I will paste it in, but ideally I would just go with an SVG later on. But anyway, so public, we have all this stuff. I'm just gonna paste it into public for now, just so that we have this. Yeah, so let's paste it into public for now. So we're gonna open review and file explorer. I'm gonna paste it into here. I will separate this by date modified. So at least I know that just now, just all the stuff that I pasted in, which is all the stuff here, we can delete later on really easily if we need to. So the styles is from assets slash dailies.module.css. I'm going to save that. And then now if we load our development, let's go ahead and see what happens. Everything else should work. And then we're going to go to our dailies 2 page. Just make sure everything loads. Perfect. Dailies 2. I expect it not to work immediately. So let's see if it actually does everything what I want. Interesting. So it does work. Okay, cool. Nothing is clickable, obviously, because it's not everything's working yet. So how come these images aren't working? Interesting. Okay. That's really interesting that the images aren't working yet. Let's take a look at why. So what? It's saying that the images is src this, and usually if it's inside our public page, it should already work. So let's take a look. Usually if it's already inside our public here. Yeah, everything's here already. Oh wait, no, sorry. I pasted in the wrong place. Yeah, public. So public is here, and then we paste into here. There you go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sort by date modified. And there we go. This stuff is still there. That's wonderful. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Now with that refresh, we should have everything ready. So let's refresh this. Awesome. So actually everything is in there. That's really cool. That's a lot less work for me completely. So what we can do now is we can only take this bottom section because we already have the top section already all built out in the existing template, so we don't need all that. So what we can do is we can just take this bottom section, which I believe starts here. So this from here on out, from here on out is where I want it. So this is what I want. I'm just going to take this section all the way to here. It has that pencil thing, which I'll take later as well. I just need this section, and we're going to rename everything, obviously, because all the styles is inaccurate, but I will take that later. And what we want to do is we want to take that into dailies. Right now in dailies, if we open a new tab, let's go ahead and open new tabs, dailies, and show you what there is there. But at the same time, I am going to go ahead and copy this so that we can see and put it at the top. So we have this like habit group section. So right here, I think this is the section in which I want to paste stuff. So this is right here. Paste it in here and let's just see what happens. And then what we're going to do is we're going to import styles from there as well. Perfect. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so it gets placed into here. Interestingly, it gets placed as absolute. So I'm going to change that, of course. So styles group 3. Group div 3, group div 6. Okay, well, obviously it doesn't need to be absolute. Relative. There should be nothing that's really absolute here. Interesting. So it's not as immediate as I want it to be, obviously because I didn't also tag everything the way I should have, probably. I just wanted to get it done and see what happened. But I'm just really curious. Yeah, a lot of this is absolute, which is very, very interesting. I wonder why it decided to place it like that. Okay, but anyways, I have a good idea of what I need. So what I'm going to go ahead to do now is I'm just actually going to remove this. And then I'm going to go ahead and build it based on what I currently have. So right now what I want to do is I still want to get the categories, but what I really want to do is I want to add this stuff on top. I want to add all these dates on top. So let's go ahead and see how to add those dates. And I think the answer to that would be just to add them like justify to the right, because they should be outside of any of these routines. These routines should always be here, but then anything on top should be on the top right. So what we can do is we can just make a grid, I think. We just make a grid and then we'll just show everything like that, because otherwise they're absolute placing that, which I don't like. So first let's just add this layer. So we're gonna say we're gonna add a div. We're gonna say that this is 1, 2, 3, just to see how that looks. Just to double check where I am right now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, perfect. Everything is centered, which is probably incorrect for now, but what I can do, actually that is incorrect, yeah. So I want to put it outside here. Oh, no, okay, I get it, I get it. Text center should be there. This shouldn't be text center though. Okay, we'll think about it in a second. So let's do a grid first. So I use Tailwind here, so what we can do is just call it a grid calls 7, because we have 7 grid columns. And then we're just going to go ahead and throw in a bunch of stuff. So div, and this is where I think we can use some of this. So we have June 18th. Let's just see what happens. Okay, June 18th there. And then what we're going to do, we should also right justify everything. So justify items end. And then we're going to just add a few more. So June 18, June 18, June 18. For now, I'm just going to keep like this. Later on, we can make more components and then just duplicate them over. But for now, I just really want to do that. Awesome, so it's justifying to the right. That's pretty cool. What we want to do also is to keep like one section that takes up like a bit more space because we don't want it all to be here. If you see my original design, we want to kind of start at the a third mark. So what we can do for that, actually pretty interesting, is let's see what we can do for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where's the extra one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 here. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. But what we want to do is add one more div here. And this will be the outside div for everything. So we're gonna call this again grid. So grid calls 3, let's call it that for now. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a div here which has a class name of span, call span 1. And this needs to be call span 2. So div, and what we have here is div, and we have class name is call span 2. Let's see how this looks like. Perfect. So this already gives me everything I want. So this looks like it's on this side, right? And then now we can add more stuff later on, obviously. But June 18th was a Saturday. Let's go ahead and just see how that one looks. Okay, Saturday will look like that because I didn't put in another div, which I will now. Or we can do a BR. Okay, let's do a BR. Oops, BR. I think they'll just line break it, which is what I want anyway. Perfect. Awesome. So that's actually looking pretty good now. All I need to do is just keep that look and feel throughout all of this, and then it'll be fine. So let's just go ahead and add all this for now. So set. And this is on the sun. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, which is today. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, and then 18. We can customize those things a little bit more in the future, but for now, looking good. Right, we have our dates here. And what else we want to do, we want to move this to the left so it can stay on the left. That's easy enough. So let's go ahead and also just format everything. What I'm going to do here is also add some padding. So MB maybe 4. Perfect. And then what we have is this should move to the left. So let's go ahead and grab that. It's inside our sections here, actually. Okay, well, first of all, let's actually clear up all these styles things because I'm not using them anymore. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into our habit groups, routine section, and then right here we have something for that. Yeah, so this part, we're going to remove this, I think, and it will solve it. Let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. I believe that's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. So that's everything there. So we have those routines. And then what I really want to do in this stream is at least get this section in. So one of these example sections. So I'm actually going to go into our code here and we're going to go and find our habit squares, right? Before they're squares, now they'll be habit rows. Fantastic. And what we can do here is, I don't want to change the habit square. I'm just going to actually take a new habit, or actually, I'm actually just going to add something in here. So I'm going to call this one habit row instead. So we're going to copy and then we're going to duplicate it. So paste. And then we're going to rename this habit row. Okay, habit row.js. And then here we're going to go ahead and say habit row. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to give it some information. Well, first of all, actually, I'm going to make it run on... I think I should still do something like this. So let's go ahead and... Yeah, let's go ahead and do everything as usual. So we're going to do habit row, just like this, and then habit row instead. Just like that. And I believe we'll double everything. Oop, I need to go get habit row. There we go. And then if I just refresh, everything will work as I expect it to be all the time. So we're almost there. We can see that we have double the habits now, probably. Yeah, we do, because I loaded it in that way. So what we want to do now though is actually, because I'm realizing that it's loading it inside this flex column, which is fine per se, but I actually want this to be in a different place. So let's go ahead and just take this whole thing out. And actually, we're going to take this whole thing out from here, put it again here. And then what we can do is we can take out this habit row here. The other one will take out the habit square. And then what we have here, I can make this into a flex row instead. And we'll do everything with SM, so gap 5. Cool. So now everything still looks like that, but now that we have this habit row, I am going to go into here and I'm going to make it look and feel like a row instead. So I believe I have a few things that already start doing that. Oh wait, shoot. Okay, one thing. I want gap 3 instead of SM. So everything that without SM. So SM, flex none. Okay, so we have a restricted width. What happens if I remove this? Okay, that's just base. Let's see, because I know that when I switch it to a more shrink down view, I've already created the responsive element to make it go into this look and feel. But for whatever reason, it's not showing me that. So let's see. I need flex call. That's right. Okay, it's already good like that. So I need flex call. And then what I want to do is to make the gap not so big as shown here. Okay. And then now if we go to the habit row specifically, I believe that if I take out the restriction in size, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the restrictions everywhere. So no bottom as well. That's great. Okay, so basically anywhere with SM, I'm going to take a look at. So let's go ahead and do SM. So we're going to have this also be removed. Not sure what that did yet. Okay, so that's good as well, because ideally, oops, ideally it looks like that. So we already have some of that elements here. So basically just turning our landscape design into a more functional one. That's the way I'm seeing it. So we're going to go ahead and remove this one as well, remove this one as well, and then remove this one also. Okay, so far getting better. No, so no text center, right? And then no width full. That's perfect. So that becomes like that as well. This is actually going to move over. That's the biggest thing that's going to change. So let's try that out. So I think the size of the text is fine. This one I don't need to remove like that, but definitely more of the spacing stuff. Yep, size of text is fine. This looks exactly the same. I don't know what the difference was. SM. Yeah, text sizing is fine. Justify center. I think we can delete that. Okay, great. Yeah, so this stuff still needs to start moving over. Yep, this is the justify center stuff. Perfect. I'm getting the hang of this. I know what's happening now. And then what we can do is also here, remove that, this one as well. So we can start moving things over. I think ultimately we'll move these buttons away anyways, but I just want to at least get it down to what I expect first. And then later on we can transfer everything over. So justify center again. Those are just save buttons. Just like that. Things are moving over. We're almost there. Yeah, that's good so far. And then right here is the last one. Perfect. So everything looks pretty proper now. And now I just gotta make sure that all these check marks align with the right dates. So I think that will be the most interesting part here. SM visible. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, cool. So now that we have this, it means that it looks like this so far. Perfect. And everything is cut off at the thirds. So what I want to do is that there needs to be another third here that cuts it off, right? And then the 2/3 is for all the check marks. So let's go ahead and try that out. My understanding of how to do that will be from the beginning here, where I'm already seeing that there was some grid or some flex thing. Let's see, grid, nothing, flex. Yeah, here, okay, so it's showing that like it's 1/3. Okay, I think the first thing is this whole thing has a color, that's fine. Then this whole thing, okay, let's make this background black. I just want to see what, okay, so it's only for this specific section as well. So we need to start making sure that that's not the case. So everything is there. I see. So everything's an if statement here. Interesting. So what we want to do is, yeah, this stuff is still fine. I don't want to touch that. That's like saving or whatnot. Okay, here. This is the flex row thing. Okay. What if I did flex call here? Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay. This is what I want to change. So let's just remove all this. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's not what I want. What happens if I 2/3 this? Nothing happens. Just trying to figure out how it's currently being placed. If this is flex row, what happens? Okay, okay, this is only specifically for this section. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, I think I'm more clear now. Basically, what needs to happen is that this needs to have a different section. So same thing as I did before. I'm going to go ahead and even just grab it from before because I don't want to have to redo it. We just need to have a grid calls 3. And then what happens is inside here, there's going to be a blank, or not blank, but this is going to be a grid calls span 1, which is what we're going to use for everything inside here that we've already seen. So grid call span 1. So let's go ahead and move everything into here. Okay, let's see how that one looks. Perfect. So this everything is inside, it's stuck inside here now. And I just need to move this into this section. And for all these different like plus minus stuff, that'll all show up in a pop-up instead. So just everything is kind of like a check mark instead. So we're going to take the check mark one first and then just move that. So check box. So the checkbox one is going to move out. So if habit type is checkbox, actually it's not going to move it only if habit type is checkbox. It's just all of them will be checkboxes. But some of them will open something instead. So let's go ahead and grab the rest. So we have call span 1. And then we have div. And then class name call span 2. And then we're just going to put this into here. Okay, so the check mark is there. Okay, so how come that expanded over there? I think it's because this call span 2 needs to have 7 sections in there as well. Let's go ahead and do that. So that's the same thing as here. Call span 2, we need 7 sections as well, just like that. And then we have a div that closes it off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab this and then put it into there. Okay, better. So now what we want here is we want to have some justification. So we want to have, okay, we don't need the streak duration here for sure. And then we're going to call this one flex. Okay, that's flexing already. So it's just fighting at the start center. Center of this ideally. So let's see how that one looks like. So this is currently justified at, let's check this out. Right there. This is right there. Okay, so it's at the, those ones are the end. Okay, justify item center needs to be the thing. Okay, and then what we do here as well is justify item center. Okay, perfect. It's looking better. Now we can just get rid of these buttons because these ones don't matter. So we go ahead back to our habit row and we can get rid of everything else in there. I do want to keep the streak though, or at least the sentence for that. So let's just go ahead and delete everything else unrelated. So we're gonna go ahead and take a picture and stuff we'll keep, but the buttons will remove. So like that. The duration we'll keep, these ones will remove. How you feeling? All this gets removed. Okay, wait. So this div goes all the way to this div. Boom. Okay, so far so good. Just testing it out. The note one we also can remove now. Yeah, add your note here. Okay, so this whole thing gets deleted. Okay. Well, maybe I do want to keep that. Okay, well, for now, it's fine. Okay. And then how many times? And then we will have this here and we'll delete that. Okay, location, we can go ahead and remove the whole thing as well. Later on, I'm going to add some like additional help information, but for now, I think it's more clear if I just do it this way. So form gets all deleted here as well. Okay, perfect. And now everything is there. What I'm realizing that right now in comparison to the design, which is here, what we have here, undo everything so I have more of a view of everything. Oh yeah, I also want to add the background color thing. Okay, anyway, but let's go ahead and see. So right now this should be smaller, so example habit should take up better spacing. Okay, so this needs to be smaller, or this needs to be centered with this. Let me think about that. I think making it smaller is the easiest thing to do. Let's just do that. Yeah, and then we also have to figure out the mobile view later on. I think we just make the icon smaller. So let's go ahead and make the icon smaller. Let's go ahead and display the icon, which is going to be on the left, icon picker, size 30, maybe 35. Okay, and then I think at this point then I have to center this. So yeah. Personally, I don't like centering it so much, but I think we have to. So let's go ahead. So we go ahead and see the name of the item itself. So the name of the item should be somewhere up here. Habit picker, habit type, habit title. There we go. And then text left. Yeah. But we need to justify center. Align center actually. Align center is going to be here. Let me double check this. Should be... Okay, this is the wrong code. By center? Align items center. Yeah, I need to find the tailwind. Tailwind, CSS, align center. So actually want to do flex. Justify align items, item center. Oops, that's what I need, item center. Okay, it is item centered already. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Okay, so that's not really centering the way I want it to. Let's just try a few more things before we move on. Um, item center. Let's just see. So flex item center. Ah, it's flex call. So flex item center. Okay. And then we want it not to center the text though. So text left is important. Okay, this is still not kind of working the way I want it to. So I think what we can do here is, because this whole thing is like that, yeah, flex call doesn't matter here. Text left does matter. It's from up here that needs to be aligned. Self-center. I think I do self-center as well. Self-center. There we go. Got it. Yay. So that's in the middle now. Perfect. And then now what we want to do is move the checkbox as well in the middle. And I believe the easiest thing to do is to do that. Justify item center. Yeah. Self-center. Self-center? Nope. I believe it's different for this. Justify self, grid, center. Nope. Place items center, I think. There we go. So we'll grid, place item center. Let's refresh this. And then I believe we will have, okay, so grid calls. Oh, I didn't know why. Whoops. Justify center. Yeah, align. Or not. Okay, let's see how it looks. So usually when I go and use this inspect element tool, I'm able to find out a lot of details. So you can see this whole thing is actually in here. So I think the actual answer is in the whole of call span 2, that's already not justifying center, which is interesting in itself because the whole grid calls 3 here. This needs to be center, whatever. Well, actually, technically what I can do is place self center is the answer. So what we have here is this call span 2, place self center. I believe that's the answer. Okay. That's in the center of everything. Technically, yes. Okay, so I think what we do is we do this instead. There we go. Well, still no. We don't need this flex anymore. The main thing I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to make it so that it stacks. Sorry, it makes it bigger. I believe the most important thing is just take up the whole space of height full. which is not maxing out anyway. How did chat with family get there? So basically, this one would be habit title. Self-center was the answer for this one. Okay, so we have a div, and that's a self-center. But there's another div outside of that. So div self-center. Call span 1, and the next thing is self-center. Surprisingly, like everything is centered. It's just that it's not taking up the whole space. So height full. Like what if height was like 30? Would that solve it? I can't even force the height. Like everything's already self-centered. Let me just take a look. What we have here is a way for us to center everything. Call span 1, call span 2. Yeah, for whatever reason, that was able to. Maybe I just call it flex instead. That shouldn't be the answer. Nope, still doesn't change anything. Huh. It shouldn't even be a button. Like, it shouldn't even be this problem. So if I did like anything. Yeah, it's just not centering. Okay, let's read this documentation one more time. So grid. Yeah, I have a lot of grids, let's say. I need to be in the center of that. Yeah, no doubt. Makes sense. The issue is that it's not giving me the full size of the column versus this is actually giving me the full size. Okay, call span 2 is the full size. It's just that this grid call 7 isn't taking the whole size. Okay, okay. So this is giving me some more understanding. Flex row. There we go. Okay. I don't know why it didn't work before, but now I did. Okay, so Heightful, fix that. Wonderful. And now all I have to do is I just have to go ahead and add that button 7 times. So let's go ahead and add that button 7 times. And now we have that looking nice. Perfect. And I think we're very close to getting this done. Basically, now we're able to load up all the ones. That's perfect. And everything loads properly, right? And what we have to do is later on, we just have to trigger so that certain ones, because they're just checkboxes, they can be checkboxes, not a problem. But the other ones should be like a picture instead. So this should be a camera icon instead. And you can upload your picture, and after you upload it, it's already checkmarked. So checkmark should be like when it's done, right? But when it's not done, you can show like your symbol to add something instead, and then it'll open up something more like this later on. So I think that could really, really work. And so far, I think everything looks really nice. Like it's what we had designed before. The background's still, excuse me, the background is still the picture, which is awesome. And Yeah, I think we'll just continue developing from there. I think the stream definitely became more longer than expected, but hopefully you guys were able to see like the building process in this. Ideally, you guys are able to learn from what I've learned, how do we use different tools? What do we expect? What do we not expect? And see how we can improve and build a journey from there. So thank you guys so much for watching and have